Calvin Bickham is one of more than 400,000 people who've been told by Social Security that they are no longer disabled. Across the country, from Castor, Louisiana to Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, half of those terminated have appealed. Tens of thousands await their day in court.
Well, what was your first employment?
The first employment was at Nightcraft.
Nightcraft?
Nightcraft. Yeah.
And what did you do there?
I was a single needle operator and a double needle.
It's been called a system of sentence first, trial later. For Sarah Buck, this is the first chance to come face-to-face with someone who has the power to make a decision, to appear before one of Social Security's 780 administrative law judges.
Yes, and I'm under Dr. Spilsbury.
Has Dr. Spilsbury indicated to you what he thinks your condition is?
Yes.
And what has he said to you?
He said that you have multiple sclerosis.
And did he explain to you what that condition involves?
No, not really. He would prescribe medicine.
And what kind of medicine has he prescribed?
Right now, I'm on Darvocet.
Darvocet?
Darvocet.
And how often do you take it?
Only when needed.
And when is that?
And that's every 6 hours.
And that's a painkiller.
Right.
Like Calvin Bickham, Sarah Buck's termination can be traced to a profile which targeted her younger age, and to policies that have changed, tightened since she was first disabled. But she has a chance here. The judges are employees of Social Security, but they are unique. They have responsibility to build evidence in each case. And some of them, like Ainsworth Brown, call in vocational and medical experts to review and interpret the record.
Well, rather than questions, if you wouldn't mind, Buck, just hold your hands out in front for me. Do like this, like you're turning a light bulb real fast. Okay. Now, can you try it? Touch each finger to your thumb. And now try the other hand. Okay, so I would agree with Dr. Spilsbury's diagnosis, multiple sclerosis, and I think it's been understated in the records, at least, the degree of impairment of the right arm and leg. At least since December of '82, there's persistent, significant disorganization of motor functions involving two limbs, to use the jargon of the manual here.
Right, 1109.
I think she meets the criteria.
She meets the listing. Now, the multiple sclerosis listing, of course, is listing 11.09. Now, it refers you back to 1104.
Yeah.
That's, I think, the area that you were zeroing in on.
Right, I think.
Social Security decided Sarah's ailment was no longer disabling, even though her paralysis gets worse. But in this case, Brown develops the medical evidence more completely than the state agency. He solicits other facts, too, looking for proof of the effects of Sarah's illness. And he hears Sarah's daughter describe how she measures the seriousness of her mother's condition.
I have to help her around the house. I have to do the wash, the cooking, sometimes the sewing, and watching the kids. Sometimes she cannot even dress herself. I have to dress her. I have to wash her hair, and sometimes I have to bath my mother. It is very hard, and I had to keep up with the family in a small home, only 5 rooms. And I had to keep things out of the way that she can walk. And my father helped, but there's nothing I can do, really.
I have no further questions.
Mr. Bruffy, I'd like to ask you to briefly summarize those factors that you would take into account when assessing the claimant's vocational capacity.
She has always worked with her hands, and she has worked with things as opposed to people or data. And with the extreme clumsiness, I would not expect her to be able to satisfactorily meet the requirements of any employer in the performance of either gross or fine manipulative tasks.
What would your answer be if I merely...
Judges have reversed 65% of the termination cases that have reached them. The Social Security Administration is not happy with that reversal rate. So the decisions of judges who have high reversal rates, like Brown, are reviewed by headquarters, where it's charged he overreacts to the claimant's testimony.
Impairment is persuasive, so I will be rendering a decision, which should be in writing within about 30 days, concluding that she continues to be disabled.
Because every one of Brown's opinions may be reviewed, it could be 6 months before Sarah Buck has a final decision. Social Security disability is not just for the physically disabled.